Hello and welcome back to the design studio. My name is Kat. I am owner of Kat's Creations Wreaths and Kat's Creations and more. And I'm so excited to finally have all the materials in and figure out exactly how to make this so that I can teach it to you so that you can learn how to make it. So before we get started, a couple things. The private group is closing at the end of this month. It doesn't mean that we're like, there's no more private group. If not sure if you want to do it, now's the time to make a jump because we will not be reopening it until after the first of the year. Also, if you want to save this tutorial, and trust me, I'm even saving this tutorial because I know I'm going to need it for reference. If you were on Facebook, just click the share button. If you were on YouTube and signed into your account, all you have to do is hit the save button. You're good to go. Also, if you want to get notified when I go live, which is every Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific and Fridays at 5 p.m. Pacific, if you're on Facebook, it's a little bit more complicated. Just make sure that you have liked and followed the page. You need to do both in order to turn your notifications on. So just click those three little dots next to the like button. It'll open up another menu. It'll give you the option to go ahead and follow. If you're on YouTube, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and you won't miss anything. So also for YouTube subscribers, because I get a lot of feedback, a lot of it, 95% of it is very positive. The other 5% is kind of like, not very positive, but I have been taking that negative feedback and trying to see, is there any way that I could do things to make things easier for YouTube subscribers? So I have created things, and I'm still only like a third of the way through all my videos on YouTube, but I'm putting in a table of contents. So when you're watching these videos on a replay, you can actually go through and just kind of drag your mouse or drag your finger over it, and it'll stop at different points, like making a bow, adding the deco mesh, fluffing the bow, adding ribbon tails, adding embellishments, whatever, so that you can skip to the parts that you want to, instead of just dragging that fast forward button all the way through and trying to figure out what it is. So there are like designated spots where the design and instructional tutorial has changed, and so it's easier for you guys hopefully to find things. Okay, with that being said, did you pin? Are you sure you pinned? Steve is here fielding all my comments for me. If you've never experienced him before, he is my husband, and so on Fridays I have the joy of being able to have him focus on the comments and focus on helping you guys with any questions you have answers to, so that we can go ahead and move forward in the tutorial. So with that being said, let me make sure I can read your comments as well. Hang on just 1 second. Everything is slow. It is currently raining here. It is very cold. It feels very fall-like, almost winter, which I'm loving.
Hi Cheryl, hi everyone.
Okay, let me go ahead and pull this down. I'm looking, babe. I'm gonna go ahead and just double check. It's funny, now it says that I'll have to go in and look at this. But I've actually been doing some changes to my YouTube page, and now if you go to my designated YouTube channel, if you don't want to go visit the website, you can actually shop from my website now, or from my YouTube channel. So that's kind of interesting. You just go to the main channel, click the shopping tab, and you can go shopping. So that has taken me 2 days to figure out. So, let me make sure. Where did it go? There we go. Pin. All right. We are off and running. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you down. We'll go over all the materials, and then we'll start the instructional part. So here we go. You're coming straight down. Nancy says, hello from Ohio. My first live in at least 3 months. Finally, well, welcome, Nancy. Glad you can make it.
Hi, Nancy.
Okay, so Materials you will need: 1 roll of white Poly Burlap Mesh. You will need 1 roll of whatever other color burlap mesh you want. I am using turquoise, so 1 of each is enough to make the entire snowflake. So, and you can get these at craftoutlet.com, Trendy Tree Deco Exchange, Nick's Seasonal Decor, the Race Shop, wherever you can find Poly Burlap Mesh. You will also need grab this, a small Unique in the Creek flower board. You can get these. I don't think they're selling the small flower board at Hobby Lobby. I think they only sell the large, but they are being sold at Craft Outlet, uniqueinthecreek.com's website. So I designed this entire wreath using the board, and we'll go over placement and all the holes and stuff later. But you will need that, 1 roll of white, 1 roll of turquoise, and whatever you want to use for the center. So I am using tonight just a regular, this is an 8-inch snowflake, so that is going to be my centerpiece because it's like snowflake on top of snowflake. But you can actually do whatever you want for the center. So before we get started, I wanted to show you how to use a wood burning tool to burn your poly burlap mesh, because poly burlap is notorious for fraying, and it frays badly. Did I just throw that away? I didn't throw it away. I was like, I needed it out here for my demo, so I threw it back in my box. So what you will need is a wood burning tool that gets up to 425 degrees with a chisel point. Oop. Now the chisel point looks like a knife blade. Generally on most of them it comes standard, but again, you need a 425 degree chisel point wood burning tool. You can get those from Amazon. I'll link those in the description box when this goes to replay. You will need a glass cutting board. This one just happens to be, it's a 15, I want to say 15 by, it's a 15 by 12. It's kind of weird. It's a weird shape. And preferably clear so that you can still see your measurements through it. You will notice that when you look at the layout of Poly Burlap Mesh, it is made up of rows and columns. Blanche says I'm trying to find that glass cutting board. You can get them at Walmart if you want to go locally, Blanche. Otherwise, I will link the one that you can order directly off of Amazon and have it shipped to you. Hi, Joan. Welcome. She says it's 1 a.m. So thanks for joining us in the UK. So with this one, like I said, it's made up of rows and columns, and they're pretty big. This is kind of a rubberized mesh. So, like I said, because the holes are so big, it has a tendency of fraying easily. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to cut all your deco mesh pieces to 10-inch pieces. You will need, what did I write? Out of the blue, you will need 20 10-inch pieces.
The white you need.
And out of the white,
38.
You need 28.
Oh yeah.
28 of the white. So, and that's where you can get, you'll have 36 pieces with each roll, so you have a little bit in case, I don't know, they don't all come out perfect. So you'll have plenty. But in order to use your wood burning tool, you want to make sure that, number one, your deco mesh is lined up evenly on your starting point. And then you're going to just go 10 inches in. Mine's set up on 11 inch. I'm going to go down here to 21 because 11 and 21 is 10. I'm just going to draw my wood burning tool all the way down the column, staying in the row like cars on a freeway. And that's exactly how you cut your poly burlap mesh. And what it should do is it should help kind of seal the ends, but it's not perfect. This is probably the mesh that will fray the most. So with that, we are all set there. I know we're going to come back and use the deco mesh here in a second, or the wood burning tool in a second when I show you how to make some of the petals that you will need for this wreath. So I'm just going to keep that turned on, but out of the way. How you lay out your board. I am using 6-inch zip ties. It's easier if I just show you the back of the board. What we are doing is I am zip tying every other set of 2 holes so that there's a skip in between. So it gives you, I think it's 16 on the outside. Is it 16 or 8? 8 on the outside, this first row right here. Then if we move down into the second row where we have, you want to make sure that when you're lining these up, if you'll notice that there's like 2 holes here and 2 holes here, you want to make sure that when you're doing your outside holes, you pick the outside holes that align up with the single hole so that your other ones are the ones you will line up for row 2. Otherwise, it throws you off and you end up doing it this way, or it just really throws off your placement altogether. So when you're putting your outside zip ties in, make sure they're on the 2 holes immediately in front of the single hole, not immediately in front of the double holes, okay? But when you get ready to do row 2, that's when you're going to pick up the ones that are not directly in front of the outside rolls. So you're going to have 8 here, 8 on row 1, 8 on row 2, alternating between the holes. And then when you get to row 3, you are doing every set of holes all the way around the outside, another 8. And then on the very inside, row 4, not only are you doing the 4 double holes, but you're also going to do the shared holes. So you want to basically just connect your zip ties so that you have 8 in the center. You'll understand why when we go through putting the pieces together. Do you guys have any questions at all on the placement of your zip ties? I'm just going to give it a second just to make sure, because then from here we're going to go into how do you build the petals, because there is, let me think, 4 different petals you'll need to know how to make, and we're going to go through them one at a time. And as we do them, we're going to be putting them on the board, and then we will be moving on to the next row so that you're learning and then you place, and then we'll learn another one, we'll place that, learn another, and then place that. Okay, Blanche says she's good, so I think we're good there. You can always come back to this video and go to this section of the video that says how do you wire up your board. Okay, so building the first petal, and we're going to be starting from the outside and working our way on the inside. The first petal's really super simple. It is, what is it called? I know it has a name. I just can't think of the name, but somebody here will probably tell me, oh, yeah, that's such and such petal. So what you are going to do is we have our finished edge here. This is a 10 by 10 piece of Poly Burlap Mesh. You're going to go from corner down to the corner and just flatten that. And then what you're going to do is we're going to take this corner, I'm going to stretch it a little bit. I'm going to pull this corner all the way down to the middle. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. You can have a slight overlap if you want, but this is going to be the outside point to our snowflake. So just like that. And I like to make sure that these are all zip tied together, because when it goes to assembling them, it is so much easier to do once you have all of your pieces in place. So zip tie. I'm going to line this up on my 10, and at 6 inches in, I'm just going to gather just like that. And then we are going to place our zip tie here. Does anyone know what the name of this petal is called? I know it has a name. I just don't know off the top of my head. I just know how to make it. So here's our slight little overlap, right? We've got a nice little point. We're going to go ahead and remove the zip tie. Okay. We are not going to be using this folded side up. We are going to be using this folded side down so that we have a smooth edge. Cheryl says it's Star Trek, but looks like an arrow. It's kind of not, because the Star Trek petal kind of folds another time. But this, I know it definitely has a name. Like I said, shows you, I don't know the names of petals, but I just know.
Indian head spear.
Are we just like, are we just making up our names? Okay, so we'll call that Indian head spear.
It does look like that.
Right? So we're going to just like save enough of the end here so that we can slide it under our board. But honestly, we don't really need an awful lot. Arrowhead spear. Okay, so these are going in the outside. So I'm just going to place those right in here. And it's really good if you can get into the habit of making sure that your zip tie ends go to the sides, not sit on the top. And then we're going to take that off. And then we're going to go around, because I already have these already done. I'm just trimming up a couple of them because they like to fray. So let me take this one off. There we go. So I've got the first one there. I'm going to go ahead and slide my next one in. Okay. These are going all the way around the 8 on the outside. Face down, seam side down. Okay. We'll do one more. Let me get like half of them in. Again, make sure you push your zip ties flat. Here's my seam. Seam side down. Slide it under. Just really pushing that over to the side. There's that one. If you have frays, like these little pieces that come off, I just take them off as I find them. That's just one of the downsides to that Poly Burlap Mesh. And again, sliding it under. We've got seam side down. I'm sure it has a name. What it is, I don't know. Okay. Do a couple more. Seam side down. Just tuck them in. So once you have those 8 built, like you can just go around the outside of your board, put them all in. This is just kind of creating those little pinpoints.
Jane said it looks like a lily leaf petal.
A lily leaf petal?
We'll call them Zuzu's petals.
Oh, there's just going to be a ton of names for this petal by the time we're done. Okay. Always flipping them down. I'll do one more for anyone who's coming in late that didn't see how to make that petal. Okay, so back to this. So 10-inch piece of mesh, we're taking the tail, bringing it all the way down. All we're doing is folding it in half. Okay, then we are stretching it slightly and pulling this down right at that tip. Okay, same thing, pull it down right at the tip. You can have a slight overlap. I think it helps keep your point. And then now we are doing 6 inches in. We're going to gather in. Take a zip tie.
Seems nice. Make a nice point.
Yeah, it does. That's a nice thing. And you can do this with regular Deca mesh too. I'm just doing it with the Poly Burlap, so it's a little thicker. Not as transparent. Okay. We're going to cut that little tail piece off. Actually hold it here. we're putting seam side down. And as you can see, we've got the start of our snowflake now. Okay. First petal, done and mastered. Now, this next petal, I honestly hate it. It is a nightmare to try to make. Honestly, with a snowflake, you can do whatever petal methods you want and just keep adding it to the board. I think the more you can vary it, the greater your creative designs will be. So this one's a little bit different. This is one where I'm leaving my wood burning tool on because we need it one more time. Because now we are going to take our 10-inch piece of deco mesh and we are going to cut it on the diagonal, which is always fun. So I am just starting here at the tip and going straight down the center. Just moving it down here.
Be very careful with your finger placement.
Yeah, exactly. So I just cut that in half. So I have 2 halves, so that's 2 pieces. And then you will need a piece of the white cut the same way. You can use, if you have a metal edge ruler, you could use a metal ruler to help hold that, or just something that you can use that won't, you know, melt. So here we go, going on that diagonal. It's not that hard, honestly. My biggest challenge is just sometimes when you are cutting it, it likes to remelt itself to the other piece, which is really good for fusing your mesh. Because I've already done that, I'm going to unplug my wood burning tool because I'm done with the wood burning part of that. And so now what you're going to make is called the 2-tone cone petal method, I guess. 2-tone petal, whatever. So we want to take matching edges. We want the white on the outside. So we have our white here. I'm going to put the start of my blue about 1 inch lower than this one. Kind of put it on the diagonal. So literally it's about 1 inch from the top of where that one comes. Okay. I'm just going to turn it to the side because it's easier for me to fold and show you. We're just going to take the end and bring it to the middle. Take the end, just a slight little overlap right here. Then we're going to take the white and do the same thing. Bring the white in here. That slight little overlap. Okay. Then from here, you're going to just turn it like just slightly. I'm going to turn this one slightly, and then you're going to scrunch together. And what you want it to do is you want these ends to just roll under, but you still want to see primarily a lot of the blue. So it's easier when you're only doing it with 1 piece. When you're doing it with 2, you've got to kind of allow for, you know, that second color to come through. And I'm just barely placing my zip tie right here so that I have at least captured the white. We're going to trim this off. We're going to go ahead and trim everything off we don't need, okay, which is basically the whole blue section. Thanks, babe. And then from here, we're taking row number 2, and these are going right in between row number 2. Same thing. Try to keep your zip ties to the sides if you can. Okay, just like that. I'm going to put another 3 pieces in, and then I will show you how to do that petal again. So it's just called the cone petal.
Cheryl said, I like that wood burning tool. I need a new one. Do you have an affiliate link?
Yes, I will. I'll post it in here as soon as it goes to replay. So we want this one to sit on the tops right here. So it's kind of filling in that section. If you have these weird, you know, sometimes you have your pieces just start to fray. I usually just trim them as I see them so that I don't have to worry about going back in and doing that again. Getting that back down. That's piece number 3. Oops. Piece number 4. Roll your zip ties to the center. It just helps when you go to lay your subsequent pieces on top. You don't have anything like boosting them up any taller than they need to be.
Hi Cheryl, hi everyone. Happy Friday.
Hi Cheryl. Okay. Another piece. So you can see how easy this goes. So you will make 8 of those. Right? Isn't that what they've called it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to trim this piece right there. And then I'll show you how to do the last piece again. The same method. Okay. So, let me move this out of the way. Okay. So we're taking our triangle. These were 10-inch pieces that we cut on the diagonal. There we go. Okay. So I'm matching my ends to ends. So I just find it's easier if you just start on one line and then bring your other one about an inch lower. And then just like, if you can, match them up as best as you can. You know, making sure that you've got pretty even seam allowance all the way across. It's pretty much centered. Okay. Then we're going to bring the blue piece in to the center. Slight overlap. Bring the white in. Slight overlap. We want to roll the end to the center. Roll this one. And then from here, just scrunch the two together. Just like that. We're going to put our zip tie in right here where I've got the white and blue together. Making sure it's on this side. And then I'm going to cut the excess off because I don't need any of that. I just need enough to go inside the board. Just like so. And here we go.
Linda, yeah, it's been raining off and on. It just started a little while ago, but it seems like it stopped.
Okay, so see how those filled that gap in between. Okay, ready to learn another petal? Couldn't you fuse them together? No, because you're offsetting them, so they're coming down a little further. So it'd be, I guess you could, but it's going to be kind of hard when you're doing the diagonal, just depending upon where you start. I just found it was easier to do one and then the other, and then to line them up. So now we are doing another petal. This is called the daisy chain petal. So you will need 1 blue and 1 white. And you will be making 8 of these. So we are going, the fold is almost virtually the same. Here's our finished edge. We're going corner to corner. Okay. Bring that in. Okay. So right here on our fold, we're going to bring this up about a 1/2 inch from the end, just like this. And then we are going to fold it all the way up. Okay. Just like this. So we're going to pick it up We're going to line up our ends so they match. And you're just going to put a chip clip on this one because you're going to need to put two pieces together, one over the other. But you have a choice. There's the side with the seam, right? You've got that fold there. And then you've got one that just is smooth all the way through. We want the smooth side. We don't want the double side. So we get to do that again here. Fold to the corner. Okay. Take the corner, bring it up about 1/2 inch from the edge, and then we're going to take this and go all the way up. Okay. We're going to lift it up. We're going to roll it around. Line up your edges, and this is where, here's my smooth side. Here's the side with the double. We're now going to take this, I'm going to slide it right in between, and then I'm going to pull my chip clips off. So I have one over the top of the other. So I have the blue on the inside. And you don't have to do blue on the inside. You could do blue on the outside of one and white on white on the other side. I'm always trying to make sure that these are roughly about 6-inch pieces if I can. It's not overly critical if you don't get them there.
Hi Gladys, welcome. She said hi from Virginia.
Hi Gladys, welcome.
And now it's starting to rain.
Now it's raining. And then we're going to cut this off. And then we are doing the same thing. We're just going to cut off enough so that we can get that under our form. But that is your daisy chain petal. Okay. So now, this is where the next ones go. So we're just working our way inward. So now we're on row number 3. We're going to take these with not the double side, single side. We're going to place that inside. Get that nice and flush. And then we're going to cut that end off. Okay. And then we're going to go through and place the rest of them in. So just sits basically right over the white. That's how you can tell if you've got it done right. If it's not over the white, you've wired your board wrong. Yep, exactly. So, I'm going to cut this one down a little bit more. I just don't want that much on the end.
Sharon asked, hi Kat, what type of mesh are you using?
This is Poly Burlap Mesh, that rubberized mesh. But you can do this with regular deco mesh too. Okay, always making sure we have the single side down. And those will go in really quick and easy. Spinning it around. Always make sure you've got smooth sides, not the double. Unless you want the double lick, you can leave the double on there. Okay, and this just goes right in. It covers that, the tail that we have here. One more piece, right? Yes. Yeah. So let me show you how to do that petal technique again. Just so you know, 10-inch piece of mesh, corner to corner. Fold that Okay, we're bringing the corner up to about 1/2 inch, not quite all the way up. Then we're bringing it all the way up. We're going to just lift and even out our pieces. Put your chip clip here. So we have the side that has the double ends. Here's our folded side. Then we have the white top to bottom. Bring the edge up again. Roll this up. Make sure your ends match. And then just back the car into the garage. It's like the easiest way to do it. Just back the car in. And then I'm just making sure that I'm right at 6 inches, which is basically where those ends kind of come together.
Sharon, thank you so much for watching from the UK. She said, Kat, I adore your tutorials. I love your live tutorials. I will have a go. My osteoarthritis tends to stop her at times. I absolutely love watching any live tutorials.
Thank you so much, Joan.
You must if you're up to 1:30 watching.
Exactly.
But
And
thank you.
again, cut off the excess because we don't need that. Make sure that we're not doing the folded double side. We want the smooth. I need the wreath. So here we go. Putting our last piece in right here. Making sure all of those zip ties are and it gets really super tight here because we have a big piece that needs to go in, but it's going to build and fill everything that you see here. So it's kind of like a cosmetic filler, but it looks really awesome. So let me show you how we make that petal. So here we go again. A white and a blue. Okay. This one is kind of like our Star Trek petal to a little bit of a degree. We're still finished edge, whichever way you want to do it. We're going to go corner to corner. Okay. Just like that. And then we are going to go this corner to the other corner. This is where we get into that Star Trek petal, right? That's our Star Trek petal. Then what you're going to do is you are going to, I just like put this on my 10-inch line right at about 6 inches in. I just start pulling this, and so it kind of creates a little pucker. Somebody says it kind of looks like a little shoe, right? Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to chip clip that, and we're going to make the same piece but blue. So on the corner, top to bottom. Okay. Then we're going to go corner to corner. That was a sloppy fold. Let me make sure I get a better fold on that. So there we go. Here's our Star Trek. Putting it on the 10-inch line. Right here at the 6, I'm going to pull in together. There's my blue shoe. So nice. A blue shoe with a petal, right? And then we're going to take our white one. And again, we need to make sure that we can lay one inside the other, just like this. It's going to feel a little bit thick, so we're just going to kind of flatten it a little bit and just make sure that, you know, you're happy with the evenness that you have going around the outside. And I'm going from tip to where I'm going to place my zip tie. This one's going to be thicker, and it's designed to be this way. And again, zip tying to the side. Nice and tight. We'll trim that off, and then we're going to do the same thing here. So it's kind of like, we've done this petal before when we've done our sunflower. We didn't double it. but this is how you get that two-tone look. And so this is the petal that's going to go in the center. Now, I think I'm good, because normally like when I add my center, I usually try to attach something there. Let's see, like, because this is going to be the center of my snowflake. I think I'm just going to actually just glue that to the center. I was like trying to think, do I want to get it ready to where I have a zip tie? Let's just do this so that I have it as an option, because it starts to get really full in here. So I am just going to put my pipe cleaner here, and I'm going to twist it just so it doesn't pull all the way out. This is now going in between that section, okay, and it's going to sit in between these two daisy chain petals, and we are going to zip tie and then remove, and it's going to get really super full and really super tight in the center. Okay, so this is where we have that really nice little channel almost. Ooh.
Makes a nice 3D effect, kind of.
It does. It's very like raised. So we're going to do the same thing. And if you find that you have like, you know, you're fighting all those little pieces, if you need to, just go in and try to trim them down as low as you possibly can. Just make sure you have something that can take a bite out of that and hold that into that center. Okay. And we're going to do this again. This one's a little, I don't know that I could get any more off of that. It's like a really big bite. So I'm just making sure that my zip tie is behind the one that I have that's holding all the pieces in. Okay. So that's a nice little filler. Coming in again. Trying to get it over my zip tie.
Hey Vivian, nope, you're not too late. You can always go back and watch the replay too, once it's over.
There's that one. And so what we want is these to snug really close together, because they're going to fill in all of those little pieces. Okay. I'm trying to count. 1, 2. What? I feel like there's one missing. There is one missing. There should have been one right in here. Because like 1, 2, 3, 4. That'd be 5, 6. So somehow I missed it. I think it got stuck underneath the board.
This one?
It's just stuck under the board.
Oh, is it tight?
Yeah. So I'm just going to slide that one in, because there is one that goes in between every single one, and it gets really super tight in the center to where there's almost no movement between any of those pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my 5th. Okay. And now we have 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So I'm trying to make sure, where's my zip tie end, so I can make sure I squeeze them in.
Vivian, yeah, that's a small Unique in the Creek board.
It's the small flower board.
Thanks, Karen. She
What's
said
that?
yes, it is.
Awesome.
Karen said, I love the snowflake wreath.
It's so pretty. And then if you want to, like I said, you can weigh these down to where your points are a little bit more pointed. I find that if you save your cone petals for when your deco mesh is still new and you don't save it for like the end of your roll. It'll lay more flat.
Will the E6000 spray help? Will they work on that kind of poly burlap?
It will help, but not really. Because we're playing with it so much. I think once we get it all set in there, yeah, it would. So I'm still squeezing them in. And you can see what's happened to our center, right? It has like virtually disappeared, which is what we want. And let's go ahead and do that petal again for those of you that are joining. So one more time. We are going to 10-inch piece, poly burlap mesh. We're going to fold it. Then we're going to go point to point, make our Star Trek petal. Okay. I like to put it on the 10-inch line so that I can make sure that I line up my fingers on the 10s so that we can pull those in and make that shoe. Then I'm just going to clip it, because we need to put those two together. Looking for a better piece of mesh. So, again, corner to corner, corner to corner. Line it up on the 10. Take your fingers at the 6 and pull those together so we have our shoe. Okay, we need the white shoe to go over the blue shoe. So the easiest way is just to flip them over and just make sure you get one inside the other. Okay, and then we're going from the end down 6 inches, and that's where we will zip tie these together. It's a big bundle. It's going to be really thick. So if you're like, oh my God, I can't believe her bundle was so big. Yeah, it's pretty darn thick. So this is how we make that two-tone petal. You want to cut down as much as you possibly can. Okay. And it's pretty thick. I mean, really thick. It's like about 3/4 of an inch thick. And this one is going in last. So this is going to squeeze, like there's any room to possibly squeeze this piece in. That's okay. You're going to try to figure out a way to do it. Position your ends. Get your zip tie down. Tighten it. Okay. There we go. So I kept my piece in the center so that if you want to secure your center, do that first, because as you can see, this, by the time you stuff all those pieces in, it is solid. There's not going to be any way for you to try to find those 2 holes in the center. Okay? And then from here, you have options for decorating. So I'm just going to kind of push this down so you guys can see. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. So Craft Outlet has these, like everybody's into the jewel tones right now. Let me, I ran wire around this one because I was trying to play with it because I didn't want to glue it. So you can do something like this where you have a jewel tone in the center. Again, Craft Outlet, I want to say, well, I'll tell you how much they are. They are $3.50. So if you want to pick those up, they have it in the turquoise blue, which is what this one is. They have it in white, if you want to just do a white center. And then you have your option, because I know that's going to be the question, is like, okay, so how do you put it in there? You could put a lot of glue on there, right to the center. I would probably, like, if I could, I'd line these up as much as I possibly could you know, just to kind of camouflage the inside.
Maybe even take some sandpaper and scuff it up.
Yeah,
So
you
it
could.
sticks to it. Yeah.
You could take wire, which is what I was doing. I took the floral wire. I had a piece of it. I take it off. So I just took like 26 gauge floral wire, and I kind of just went across the center because it's so light you can't even see it. And then just secure it. Just like spin, spin, spin. Make sure it's on there nice and tight. Like I said, you can't even see it. Like, you can't see it. It's really hard to see because it's clear.
The legs too.
And then you could take that and secure that all the way in. I'm always about, hey, if we can secure it, that's a bonus. Because then we don't have to worry about like the glue getting too cold or the glue getting too hot. And then it, you know, it eventually falls off or whatever. So the fact that we already have our pipe cleaner in there just means I could take this if I wanted to. And we could take that off. And let me spin this a couple more times to get it a little closer to the center. Then I could take this, wrap this around the inside, get that pretty close to my pipe cleaner, and then wire that directly to my pipe cleaner, and then pull my pipe cleaner down so then my center is, boom, it's on the center of the wreath. So that's option one we have. We have option two, which is the blue. It's entirely up to you guys which way you want to go. You could do what I opted to do, which is just the standard 8-inch. This is an 8-inch in diameter snowflake. I like it because it helps fill in the blanks if people aren't sure what it is. Like, so is that a flower? No, it's a snowflake. Because there's a snowflake inside the snowflake. It's like the center. Or you could do, we're looking at a couple different options. Let's see. This one is secured. I went in my snowflake box and pulled all these out. There's this one that's a little thicker. Just a totally different look. This one's a little bit more wide. And the other one is more like pointy. This is different types of snowflakes. These are really good for people who have a double door because you can make two of them and it's super easy, right? This was Steve's option. This is the one that he liked, which was he had these two and he like he wanted them kind of like crisscrossed in the center. I don't think it'll fit all the way, but you can see it looks really pretty though. Yeah. You can still do the exact same thing. Wire them together, pull it down to the center, and then you have that perfect center. So which one is your preference? Do you like the we'll call this the double snowflake? This will be the 6-sided wide snowflake. We have the 8-inch snowflake. We have the blue jewel, or we have the clear jewel. Which one's your favorite? I'm waiting for you guys to vote.
I said snowflake wise?
Wide.
Wide?
Yeah. Double snowflake, Paul said. Nancy said 8-inch snowflake. Karen says the wide. No worries, Joan. She said, sorry to zone out. Good night.
Good night, Joan.
Janie said the white one, the first 8-inch, the thick snowflake, the double, the clear. Right. All of the above. So, honestly.
Put the wide and the 8-inch on there. Which one do you like better, the wide or the...
Hold on. I got the wires twisted around them. Wow. How did that one get so twisted? Okay. This was the wide. snowflake. Are you looking?
Yeah.
There's the wide. And then here's the regular. This is the 8-inch.
They make it look so different.
They do. So see what I'm saying? You can totally make a ton of different ones and just vary the centers. The whole thing can all be the same.
The wide. I don't know.
You like the wide?
Linda said regular 8-inch. Then the other Linda said wide.
Valerie says the jeweled ones don't really photograph well. I agree.
Yeah, they do look pretty when you're in it, though.
Yeah.
Donna said wide. I think that one. What do you think?
What, the wide?
The wide.
I don't know. And it's funny because I pulled the wide out totally last minute. Like, it was just honestly in my snowflake collection.
It really defines the center.
It does. And that's what I'm saying. You need something in the center to define that it is a snowflake wreath. I'm going to stay with my... You guys are like 8-inch jewel, 8-inch wide.
Pam said wide.
Wide.
But that's the fun thing, right? It's you can pick one of your choice and do multiple ones.
Exactly. I'm actually going to just snip the end of this off because it's got that little holder. Yeah. So I'm going to take this off so that it's the way it should be on both sides. Just like that. I think I'm going to put that in. You guys are all going 8-inch. Okay, so it is solid, so it's not like this is foam. So I can put like, you could glue it, but you could glue. You could technically glue here, but I think I want to make sure that it is glued to something solid. So I think I'm going to pull this back just a touch. I'm going to glue it to the center. So it'll kind of be like, how can I do this so you guys can see? I'm going to glue it like this to the center, right? I'm going to glue it here, just like this. I'm going to make sure that that is there. And then I am going to take a piece of felt and put a piece of felt over the top to secure it double so that I can actually put some tension on here, which is going to be fun because that's already glued down to the center. So let me...
What would it look like if you put the jewel on top of that white?
The jewel on top of the white?
The jewel would take on most of it, so you really wouldn't see it.
Let me look. I'm just cutting my little felt piece. Okay. Glue gun is on high. So let's see if we did this with this. Yeah, you wouldn't really see the other one. This one is so thick. It is like really thick.
Yeah, it's like 2 inches thick.
And the other one is really thin and flat, like a pancake. So, I am going to do this for my pipe cleaner. Just holding it like this. It's like, I wanted to show you guys what I was doing because I can't really pull it. And then the felt is just going to kind of go through the center and just kind of hold everything together. We'll see how well we can get this to go. I've got it. I'll have to trim it a bit. But I've got my pipe cleaner in the center. You can see my felt piece right there. I didn't run it all the way to the edge.
Carol said, where are the 2 white plastic snowflakes from?
Craft Outlet.
Craft Outlet. Both the wide one and the 8-inch one.
Mm-hmm.
Craft Outlet.
And the jeweled ones.
And the jeweled ones. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So now those are nice and tight. So now, remember we already put my pipe cleaner in there. So I just secured it. So now I can gently remove my slack and pull that down to the center and just twist it on. And it shouldn't come off. Just like so. So that the back looks just like this. Let's go ahead and twist.
George said it's really beautiful. Match it up to the work of the pro.
Aw, thank you. I'm going to take the end.
Design is amazing.
And I'm going to push it back in there. And then we're going to take business card. Okay. Business card is I'm going to glue it right over the top there. So this, like I said, I have been working on this all day. I have pulled this thing apart 3 times. It is a brand new design. Nobody has done this tutorial. I had seen a photo that somebody had of one in a different color, and I was like, ooh, that's really pretty. I need to figure out how to break it down and teach that how to make it. So that's what I've been doing. So there's the card added to the back. We need to add a hanger. You could use a pipe cleaner. I'm going to just use a zip tie just to make it easy. Right up here at the top we have those extra spaces. It just depends on where you want to hang it from. So I am going to make sure that the zip tie is on the inside. We'll go ahead and remove the end, and then I'll show you this on the door. I'm going to go ahead and pivot you up. I am pivoting you up. And can we turn the door? Yep. I think it'll be better on the black for you to see the door. Turn that slightly. I hope you guys love making this. I can't wait to make a few of them. I have a darker blue. The one I saw was actually red and white. Joan said, oh my God, I have to watch to the end. Sleep not important till the end. Well, thank you, Joan. So I've got my hanger. We're going to go ahead and hang it right here on the back. And there you have it. No need to fly. You can take your points, like I said, and just, you can really re-emphasize them from here. Do the same on all of them. Because I'm pretty, I like, if we're doing a snowflake, it should have points, I guess. I just have that, this is where my screw is, so it's pushing that forward. But, what do you guys think? I'll zoom in on it for you guys. So that is our design for tonight. I hope you guys have enjoyed the tutorial because it's super fun to make, and thank you for staying with me and watching this.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, for staying up.
Absolutely. This is available on my website. If you want to purchase it, there's only one. So it is available for anyone who would like to purchase it. I only got that one snowflake, so that's it for that.
Put it on the YouTube shop too, right?
It will eventually go there. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys have a very blessed weekend, and I will talk to you next week where I'll have some more designs for you guys. All right. Bye for now.